All right, team. So today we are going to build a client website. This is a real website for one of my friends at Lavella. So we're going to build this website. We're going to use Next.js and we're going to use the app router. So I'm going to learn something new today as well. We're going to use Contentful as the backend so that they can write blog articles and things like that. We're going to use Next, Contentful. We're going to style it with Tailwind for a change. So instead of Chakra, we're going to give Tailwind a spin this time. And we're going to use Apollo client to fetch the data. And this is the newest version from July 14 that's compatible with the latest release of Next 13.4 that can use client components or server components. And it's using the experimental Next.js app support. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to try and build this thing, the desktop version as well as the mobile version while we go, so it'll be responsive. It's quite a long page, so there's quite a bit of stuff in here. So we'll get started and then we'll also deploy it, and from there we also need to just build out a couple more. So the main page is, the home page is the big one, but then we also have a couple of other things like the About Us pages and the help and support. So let's jump in and give it a crack. All right, first thing first, let's install create a new Next app. So we'll run npx create next app latest, and we want to do the 13.4, yes. So this will be called Lavella. Let me just double check the spelling of that. Levella, and this will be Lavella website. TypeScript, definitely. ESLint, definitely. Tailwind, thank you. Source directory, yes. I do like using source directory. App router, yes. Would you like to customize the default import alias? The default import alias is the @/star, so that when you do relative things like styles, components, hooks, you can do that. I think this is just asking you how do you want that to be formatted. So I don't want to change that. The default's fine. Cool. All right, we'll let that install. So what are we getting? We're getting React DOM, Next, TypeScript, all the types, Tailwind. So that's kind of cool here because it's actually doing this step, I believe, for us. So we'll see if it initializes Tailwind for us. Okay, that's finished. So now we can jump into the directory. So we're going to just cd into the Lavella website. And then I'm going to just open up code there, VS Code. And now I'll just bump up all of this for us. So let's just go into get started. So we can see we've got our Tailwind config file here already. Great. So this is basically this step here. So it's set up this Tailwind config file. And it's just saying where we're going to be looking. So it's got the app directory there, the pages directory, and a source components, which is great. Sweet, so that hasn't been set up yet. It's got a background image here. All right, and then all the packages that have been installed. So we're running 18.2. Is this the latest? Yeah. Okay, cool. And this is the latest Next. Should be 16 hours ago. All right, we're on the edge. Okay, so Tailwind looks to be installed. Let's just run and make sure that everything's running. So we're going to npm run dev, and now we should be here. So we will open this one. Bring it to the front. Here we go. We're on. All right. So the new app directory, which a lot of people may or may not be familiar with, instead of having sourced the pages directory, we now have the app directory. And from here, this is the default layout, the root layout. So everything gets wrapped in this. And then the page, so this is the home page. So this is basically our index route. So the page inside of the app is the index route. And you can see this is just our home page here. So what I'll do is just clear all of this out. And it's quite cool. They've actually already got the Tailwind styling there. I'm just going to say home. Right. So now we just got our home page right there. And you can see they've already got some styling here. Now, for us, we're going to have a couple of pages. So we're going to have home, so that's our index, about, products, installers, and support. So what that would look like is let's set up an about page. All right, and then I just need to have a look at what this looks like. So we're just going to export a function here, and this will be called about. I'm just going to change this because I like to do it this way. So it's at the bottom of the file. All right, and then here the same thing. Okay, about, and we just call this about. I'm just testing out the new router. So we should now have something at about. There we go. All right. So this is a bit small. Bump that up. So you can see, so there's the about, there's the home. All right. So that's the router. That's how it works. We've got Tailwind installed. So that's awesome. The next piece of the puzzle is our data fetching. So what I'll do, I'm just going to quickly commit this. I'll add it to GitHub desktop. So let's go here and add a new repo and just see if that's actually been initialized. Yep. All right, so it's done the initial commit there. So Next did that for us. So here, I mean, we don't need to actually commit this, all good. All right, so let's get started with the Apollo client. So quick start. So what we want to do is we want to install these guys. So we'll go into our terminal here and we're going to just paste this in. So we're going to install Apollo client RC. So that's a release candidate. And then the experimental Next.js app support. All right. So let's just see. I wonder if they've got a new, don't worry, the name will change once the library is stable. So yeah, I just want to check if this is, there's a new version of this. Let's go into the repo. So this was released 2 weeks ago, 0.41. So it doesn't look like this is stable just yet. Okay, cool. All right, so that's all good. So we'll just run that. I just wanted to double check that we didn't have a newer version. So let's install Apollo client RC, and then I'm just going to keep reading. So what do we need next? Okay, after installing, we can choose between using server components or client components. So, I mean, we're going to try server components because it's all new to us. So let's create a new file at libclient.js. All right, so that's where they want. So let's do, I like to call it utils. So I'm going to call it utils and I'm going to call it Apollo client, not just client because we won't know what type of client that is. So that's the Apollo client there. And then we're going to import all these. All right. One thing here, I do probably want to change my prettiest settings or my ESLint settings to use, I wouldn't mind using the Airbnb styles that we always use, but just for now, let's just keep going. So that's installed. I'm going to run dev again. Okay, so what are we doing? So we're importing Apollo client in memory cache. Why are we importing those things if they're not in use? So if we want to use Apollo client inside server components, you need to create a lib client and put the following in it. Register Apollo client will return a get client function that allows you to safely get an instance of Apollo client that's scoped to the current request. That's cool. And then there's also the Apollo wrapper. All right, so we can bring this in as well. So again, in the utils folder, this will be Apollo wrapper. And then we'll just copy this code. Okay, I'm very interested to know why they'd make bringing in imports that are not used. Next, what is going on here? It's like this code isn't real. Let's just double check. Very strange. I mean, I'll leave that there in case it's further down the tutorial. The use client tells Next.js bundler that this is a client component. So that means we can use APIs that are unavailable on the server. So that's a use context, use state. In the make client, we create an Apollo HTTP link similar to what we did before, but this is executed in SSR. We also combine it with the SSR multi-part link. We'll strip all fragments that are marked with defer directive from your queries during SSR. We want to get data out to the browser as fast as possible. All right. Next SSR in-memory cache. Finally, we create a new React component that combines everything. Okay, so that is exporting a new function here. So I'm gonna okay, so that's just exporting that function. So where's the default export? I wonder if we can do. Let's do export default here, and we'll default the Apollo wrapper. Okay, passing error. What have I done? I've broken something. Make client is make client. I wonder what's going on here. This next SSR Apollo client, I'm gonna assume that comes out of there. So there's a typo in there. Tutorial, we're missing this guy. But what have we done here? This is, it needs to be a TSX component actually. So this really shouldn't live in utils. Okay, so that was complaining because that was saying that you can't return JSX because it doesn't know. So realistically, let's go into our source here. Let's create a new file in components, and then we're going to call this one Apollo wrapper. And then I wonder if I can do index or TSX because I like that way. Chuck that in there, and then we can get rid of this. Utils will just be functions, not components. Cool, so now we have the Apollo wrapper component, and that's all working there. All right, this is not used. Let's get rid of it, clean it up. Cool, so we got that far. All right, now we can use our wrapper in our components like this. So we can wrap that. All right, so let's do that. Let's go here and set up in our root layout. We will now set up this. So I'm just going to close all this. So styles, let's move this down. Type, font. Okay, so we're going to import Apollo wrapper from components. See, cool. So this is our alias that we were talking about earlier. So the way that's working is coming through our tsconfig, and here it's got our alias paths through here. So anything in the source directory is alias like this. So we've got @app, @components, and @utils. All right. So that is how that's working. And now what we can do is inside of our layout. So they've done it inside of the body here, which feels a bit odd, but anyway. We'll close that off and then move children inside there. All right. So that's our root layout. I'm going to change this again. I'm also going to move the types out of this component because I do not like that. So it's root layout props, and it's just children, right? And then that becomes root layout props. Also don't like destructuring inside this thing here. So let's just tidy this up for myself. All right. I just find this much more readable and maintainable. Otherwise, you have these massive props destructuring with inline types, just really difficult to look at. Okay, so let's see if we're still running. Are we still running? Looks like it. Okay, so there's the home page, and we've got the Apollo wrapper. All right, what's next? Then we can use suspense query to fetch. That's interesting. Let's see what that is. Next.js. So we can tell a page to automatically render dynamic. What's dynamic? So we've got three here. Auto, the default option to cache, force dynamic rendering. Okay, this is interesting. Change the behavior of a layout or page to fully static or dynamic. It's interesting because I've seen on the internet people complaining about not being able to control the cache, but this feels like you can, unless I'm misunderstanding something. Anyway, we'll continue. So we need to do this. So this is a poll page. So where are you grabbing this from? Launch latest mission name. Is that it? Okay, so that's it. So now they're actually fetching. So this is going to be a page. So we're going to say, let's go on, we'll chuck it into the home page here. Okay, so we're using client. So let's just grab this. Don't need the image for now. So GQL, we need to import that. Why haven't you told us to do that earlier? But this GQL, that's a function we need to import. Use suspense query, and that lives now here in our home page. So this will live here. So this is where we're going to go get some data. I also like to usually capitalize these, but we'll fix that soon. So we need to actually get this GQL. So that's missing. I'm wondering why they haven't done that. So let's just go to Apollo GQL. How do we install? Getting started. There, so we need to install this. All right, so let's grab GraphQL. Cool, that was quick. Run dev. Now we should have GraphQL. So this is initialing, this is the old style. So GQL. I'm sure, don't you have to import that? Yeah, there we go. From Apollo client. I wonder if GQL is exported here. No. Let's see where we can import GQL from. Okay. Now, let's see what's happening. So if we refresh this page, what's going on? Sure, the rebuild is slow. Okay, it doesn't look like anything's happening right now. Let's check the server and see if anything. Nothing. This is on the home page. That's where we are. Okay. Let's just console log here and see. We should be throwing an error in what I'm thinking. Launch latest. No. Where is that coming from? There we go. Okay, so it is working. So where's the request for that? Very interesting. That must be firing inline on the server, but not. Here we go. There's a. Cool. All right. So I think what we should do though as well is just get this Apollo client, so we can actually monitor these requests. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to just dive in here because I think what we did, without even realizing, is inside of the Apollo client here. Here we go. So we're looking at this right now. Either that or here. So which one are you currently using? So we are using the Apollo wrapper. So we are using this guy. Yeah, cool. So this is the page for the GraphQL. So it shows you the schema and all that stuff. Well, that's great. But that is not what we want right now. So we've set up Apollo. We're actually fetching data, which is really cool. So there's our actual mission name. So we can, if we wanted to, just to make this page dynamic, just for fun. So the data launch latest. So realistically, it's data.launch latest.mission name. Crew 5. So if we just grab that now, and we just chuck that right in there. Boom. So there's our data. Cool, so that's easy. So we set up data fetching. So now what we're going to do is we will set up Contentful so that we can fetch our own data that we actually care about and go from there. Okay, so I've signed into Contentful now, and I'm going to create a new organization. So this will be Lavella. So create an organization. That's cool. Don't need that. Great. Now we need to, so we've got an organization. That's cool. I need to go into it, and I'm going to add a space. Intro, 3 environments, 25 content types, and 10 records. That's great. And this will be called website. All right. So we'll set that up and watch the bird deliver our package. There it is. Now, what we need to do here is go into the space itself. So click on it. And here is where we define our content model. So the content model is basically, we are now designing, you can think of this as your DB. So this will be the tables. Every content model is a table. And then we can create properties on that table. Just this, the reason we use something like this is it just makes it very easy for clients to manage their own data. So we don't have to be doing anything anymore. We don't have to build a backend admin or anything. It's just all comes out of the box. So let's design our first content model. So we'll do, I think what we'll do is we'll do an FAQ, right? Because they have a lot of questions. So I'm just going to write a frequently asked question, right? So we'll create that. And now we're going to add a field. And then the first field will be text, straight normal text. And this will be the title. And then appears in API responses, short text. All right, let's go. Let's just see here. Can we check? No, text. Yeah, title. Short add and configure. And then we say this field represents the entry title. All right, so we need this. So we hit yes. It's a required field. And we can limit certain things if we want. We want a single line and a help text. So that's all good. And then the next piece is on this, we'll have just a normal, don't want rich text, but we want text here. And we want to say, answer or body. Let's go with body. So long text. So that you can imagine the first line of thing will just be how much, or is this easy to install? And then the body will be like, yes, this is easy to install. Look at our manual, blah, 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 blah. So that's all good. It's a required field when you're creating one of these. And we hit confirm. Okay. So that's how easy it is to create. Now we just hit save here. All right, and now we have our content model. So now we can actually go into here, we can add an entry, and we can say, I mean, if we jump into their old page, maybe this is also good for context, is this is their old website that we're replacing. All right, so you can see it's quite dated. We don't have any, I guess a question would be, is underfloor heating energy efficient, right? That's the title. And then the answer would be, because this is energy efficient. So Lavella's on-slab systems warm quickly and are programmed to match your daily routine, so energy is never wasted. And in-slab systems generate heat during off-peak when power is cheapest. Great, love it. Publish that. All right, so now we have a FAQ and a piece of data for us to grab. So the next piece that we need to do is we need to go and grab the endpoint where we can go and fetch this data from Contentful. So I'm just going to quickly generate a key. So we do that in API keys. So we're going to look for content delivery. All right, so we're going to add an API key. So we'll get a space ID. All right, and then we're going to get an access token. Okay, so let's do that. So what we need to do now with these is we need to set up environment variables. So let's just see if Next 13.4 has a way for us to do that easily. Next 13.4 envars. So use the env.local, create one of those. We're going to go .env.local, and then we're going to have Contentful API key, a space ID. So we'll go Contentful space ID and Contentful API key, right? This is what we're doing here. So what you will do is you will drop in your API key and your space. So this the space ID is this one. So I'll grab that. I can stick that in so long. And then your API key you'll grab from here. I'm just going to do that and paste it in. One thing to note as well is you want to copy the preview API. So create Contentful API key and then create Contentful preview API key and then drop those two values in there. And that should get you started there. Now we need to know what the endpoint is. Okay, so in my personal website, I'm doing this thing here. So what we need to do with this guy, so it's a little bit different. HTTP link, URI. Okay, I wonder if we can do headers in here. Let's just check. Headers, yes, great. Okay, so it's very similar. Let's just push that in. Okay, so we need to pass through our authorization header, right? So we're going to use our Contentful management token, but we call that API key, I believe. Okay, and then we need to pass through our URI. All right, so that'll be this guy, and we chuck in the Contentful space ID there. So it's graphql.contentful.com/content/v1/spacious. Do they have a note in here about GraphQL content API? That's what we want. There we go. So that's the base URL that we're looking for. And here we go. You can see everything we need. All right, so that is the new one. I'm just going to double check. Chuck that there. There we go. So we've got our space ID. And then I'm pretty sure can actually preview that. Cool, so that's good. I think we're going to need a server restart for that to work, to register those new environment variables. So always make sure that you restart your server. We've had so many problems in the past at work where people struggle for hours wondering why it's not working. You just need to restart the server. Okay, so you can see here that we've loaded env from env local. Let's see if we're getting any info. This will fail because that GraphQL query is not successful. Because that's fine. We should expect that because there is no launch latest mission name. So what we want to do now is I want to run, it's good. Okay, so we're going to connect to an endpoint. Yep, and it's not going to let us because we need to set up our headers. So let me do that quickly. Okay, so in the request headers here, I've gone and set authorization, and then I've set bearer space API key. Just remember the bearers with capital B. All right, so what you can see now is we get this information here on the left, and you can see that there's the FAQ and the FAQ collection, right? So the FAQ collection is the list, and I believe this one is the singular, right? So the FAQ collection, think of it as I want to return an index. So this is where you'd have like a list page. And then if you're just looking for one, you could do this. You could see I want the FAQ with an ID of whatever. I want to include the body and I want to include the title. So this is GraphQL. It's very powerful, actually. It's very cool to use as well. Just something different to our usual TRPC. But we're not building an API here, so we're going to use something else. We're going to use the GraphQL language. So what we want to do here is, let's say FAQ collection, we want to limit that to 10. You can skip. You can do a where clause, if you want to do searching or something. But we just care about this for now. Must have a selection of subfields. Okay, so we do need subfields. So we want the items, we want the body and the title, sorry. So yeah, so that's the query, and this is what we want to return. We want to return items. We want the body and the title of those items. There we go. So you can see here now, let me just double check this is nice and zoomed in. You can see that we have the data It's an FAQ collection, has items, and then each item has its body and its title. And that's one of the powerful things about GraphQL. You could say, I don't want the body, I just want the title. And now when we return, we just get the title. So there's a very cool little language, or whatever it's called. It's a very useful tool. So we can now just basically grab this and we can bring it into our page now. And I'm just trying to see, so we would say get latest FAQ query. That's how I like to name our queries. And then we're going to say in here, I guess it's just this piece here. I'm just trying to understand if that starts there. No, it actually looks like it's this. Okay. So from here to here, and this will be latest FAQ. I wonder if we should tab that in. Yeah, I think this reads better like that. Okay. So the latest FAQs, FAQ collection, we're going to limit it to 10. We're going to get those things. All right, so now what does our data look like when it gets back? So the data is going to look like, it's going to be data, FAQ collection, items. Right, so that's the loop now. So what we're going to do here in our home page is we're going to just loop through this. All right, and we're just going to return for now. Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Can you see this? Boom. There's our FAQ. So we are now connected to Contentful. So let's go and add another one. Let's have a look at the website and say, is it safe? Publish that. Now, sometimes this can take a second because it is cached. I might restart the server. Because Contentful is cached, it does sometimes take a bit of time to come back in, but we can continue on, but that will come in. But anyway, we now have Tailwind installed. That was thanks to Next. We have Apollo client running. We have connection to Contentful. So we are good to go. We can start building out this website and styling all the different sections. So we'll jump into that next. Okay, so we are now going to do our nav bar. So it looks like all this content is sitting inside of a wrapper. So we'll design that we'll put that together. But so we'll have a navigation bar here, and then inside here we're going to have a wrapper, and that's going to be our content. Basically the content wrapper. So let's just see roughly how wide this is. It's 1200 pixels is kind of like our content grid. So let's do that. We can probably let's create a component for that. So that'll be an app components, and then we're going to write a new file here, and this will be content wrapper. Let's go index.tsx. All right, so this is just a component and content wrapper. So what does this do? So okay, so we're going to need something different here because this is not a chakra component. So that's sad. Let's go with, this can be a div, just a div. And that will have the children inside. And then inside here, we're going to have class names. So now we're using Tailwind. So we are going to say, we're looking for layout. And it's a container. And it's XL. So how does this work exactly? Container copied. Container none, container large. I'm just trying to see how we can do this. So it's container. I wonder if we just write, let's see, is there? So my HTML is obviously not the best anymore, but if we say, I think it's just XL. Let's see what happens. So let's use this content wrapper. So I'm going to clear all this out, and let's import our content wrapper. Import content wrapper. I'm actually doing this in the wrong place anyway. But let's just stick this here. And let's move this into there. So before we save that, so we're currently rolling to here. But if we now say padding, so this has got padding 24, justify. I mean, let's get rid of all of this stuff here because this so it just doesn't stuff up our. Oh, that's disgusting. So we want, let's clear this out. There's something can happen here. This. We don't want that. We don't want this. We don't want anything. Leave us alone. There we go. All right, so content wrap, I think it might have to be prefixed like this. I might even try small just to see how do we get this to actually work. Right. So it's the max width or the min width. So container columns 1. Let's see how this works. Don't think that's it. So you can see here, not a Tailwind master yet. Let's jump in. What's going on? Div class small, that does absolutely nothing. And container small doesn't seem to do anything either. No, okay. What is going on here? Yeah, let's go to the docs for this one. Oh, okay, so it's container. Using the container sets the max width of an element to match the min width of the current breakpoint. Okay, I like this idea here, centering containers as well. So let's go into that. So let's just, so it's container space small. Something moved there. Max width. Why small should be max width 640. To center the container, use MX Auto. Okay. So you are not living inside there yet. Okay. Let's go there. I'm just confused as to why this is still running so wide. Max width 15. Okay, so it's responsive, but it's just not right. It's the max width to match the min width of the current breakpoint. I wonder if we can just say max width. Okay, centering by default. Let's turn this on anyway. So if we just go into our Tailwind here, theme, container center true. I don't know what, we don't really need this. So I'm gonna get rid of that. I think that was for the previous thing. I wonder if we have to restart our server for that as well, just to be safe. Okay, so we don't need on here, we don't need this anymore. I saw something come in there. There we go. So we've got two things pulling in right now, so that's good. But still this isn't right. So I want a max width. So let's see if we can have max width. We want a max width of this. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so that shrunk us down. And then what are the different settings, just so we can test them out. So if we drop that to a 2XL, there we go. Okay, so the max width is what we're after. So maximum width there, we're gonna run at 1280 or 80 rem, 1280 pixels, okay? And then also if we just check here, because we are running it zoomed in, that's 100%. So that's what we're gonna look like. Okay. Cool. All right, that was enough stuffing around on that one. Sweet. So let's create a new component here. Let's go in here and we're going to create the navigation. Let's call it main navigation in case we have a secondary. Index.tsx. Okay, I'm going to need to create a Tailwind component. So I'll just quickly show you guys how to do that. So in here, we're going to go settings. We're going to go configure user snippets. And it's going to be for TypeScript React. So you can see here at the moment, I have this React component one. And I'm going to Expo component one. So but what I want to do here is I want to have a Tailwind component. And I'm just going to go TW component. And then we're not going to import Chakra anymore. We're going to still have a component props. We're not going to return a flexbox here. We'll use div instead. And that'll be our component. Okay. Very simple. So now if we go TW component, we hit there, we got a snippet. Makes us way faster. All right. So we're going to go main navigation props. And what we're going to do here, we're going to import the content wrapper. So this, we'll import that into the nav because we want the nav to be able to span 100% of the page, but the content of it needs to be maintained to the smaller size. So we're going to go content wrapper. I would prefer if this just used the components reference. Okay, so this now just wraps that. Actually, no, we're going to do it inside here. And children for now, which we don't actually need. And then here we're going to say width, so class name. And this we have to be 100% width. So width, is there 100%? Width 100, fit content, width full, W full, okay? So W full, full width. And then we want to do the background color. So this is going to be go background color, BG black. I believe we're running black, pure black. Let's just see. Yep, that's a pure black. So that'll be BG black. So we're going to go width full, BG black. All right, so we need to now pull this main nav into our homepage. So where are we? Here. So in the main, right at the top, we're going to have main navigation, right? We won't actually pass any props here right now. So I'm just going to pull that in. I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff quickly. So let's just set up here a new file called the FAQ. And we're going to set up page.tsx. So if we now go component, so FAQ page. All right, so what are we getting in here? Gotta change that. So what I want to do is I'm just use all of this in here. All right, and then I'm gonna just do return this. We need this suspense query. Okay, and we need to just run this. Oh, it's gonna be a while before I get my muscle memory swapped out. Let's just go here and see if we have that. There we go. So there's our FAQ page. So that's all good. I'll get rid of the console log. Now that means we can go in here and get rid of this for now. Let's just start nice and clean. Don't need this. Don't need any of this. Don't need that. Don't need this. All right, so main navigation, save that out. That's complaining because it wants children, but we don't care about that for now. Let's go back here to our home page, and that is what we have right now. So let's just see what's going on here. Home, content wrapper, main navigation, and we've got no children, so let's just say nav. There we go. Got our awesome Navbar. Okay, so let's see. This is what's the height of this thing? So I want to know. It's not really helpful, is it? How big is this piece here? I need to be able to dev mode, but not really helping me, are you? So that's 146 pixels there. So what we're going to do is set that to a height. So we need height. Height 145 pixels is this one, H36. So we're going to say here H36. That, yeah, okay, that looks big, but that's what it'll look like normally. Cool. Now what we need to do is we need to center vertically. So that'll be a line. So we look at a line, set the line as replace element, or a line content, item center. I wonder if you have to set this to be flex by default. Probably have to set this to be flex as well. Yep, there we go. So you can see, let's just change the color of the font. So that's color typography, text color, text white. Okay. So there we go. So we can see what we got. All right, so that's great. So there's our awesome navbar, and it's sitting inside. And then if we bring it in, collapses down. So we probably want to set padding on it once we hit. So this container probably needs to add padding once we get to a certain breakpoint. So once it's below the minimum, we need to add padding. Let's do that now. So padding, and where are the breakpoints? Let's just go padding here. So we want, let's go padding of 8, or what's on a good on the phone, maybe 16, P4. So after medium, we need padding of 4. Let's see if I've understood how this thing works properly. No, all right, let's go to the docs. Breakpoints, small, target media queries. I think that's the one thing that I probably need to look here is media queries. It's probably the first thing. I wonder if this set it down, targeting a breakpoint range. Okay, so media small, media not all, and min width. Let's try this. Max medium. That looks like it's got some padding now. Padding, great. So we could even say max large. So now we're saying up to large, we're going to have padding. And then as soon as we go past large, so it's almost like we need it earlier. So we might even have to go max XL. So we just maintain that little bit of padding all the way through. Cool. So responsive design adds a little bit of extra challenge, but it just means we can just build this thing once. We don't have to worry about it special. So anything after that, we just grow. That looks good. Okay. Cool. Sweet. All right, so we have that now. So let's grab the logo. Let's grab this guy and see if we can export this as an SVG. Okay, so where are we going to put our app? So we're going to go inside of source, and then let's go create an, you know what, let's create it in the nav. I like to create an assets folder next to. So the reason we house these components next to each other is if it makes it much easier to delete. The easier it is to remove things, the better. It just means it's way easier to maintain. So I'm just going to grab downloads. Is this the one? Cannot tell. I'm assuming that's it. So drop that into assets, and this will be called logo. It's an SVG. Now, let's see. So if we go in here and we go import logo from, no, it's not right. Assets / logo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to console log logo here. Just see what we're getting out. Nothing. So let's see. Let's import. Let's use next image. Next image. So let's just chuck this guy here. Is it URI? No, URL. Source, that's the one. Logo, I think it's .url. And what do you want? Alt, so that's the logo. And what else do you need? You need a width and a height, I'm imagining. What? Okay. So that's broken, so that's great. I believe you need a height and a width. Let's find out what those are. 257 by 30 by 26. 257 by 26. I saw there. I think there was a breaking change in Next. Let me just check. So we're going to go Next. JS SVG. Yes, it looks like there's a little bit of a problem here with this. Okay, yeah. So what I remember seeing was you need to create a component. So let's do that. So we'll just go here, logo, and we're going to just create a component. So this will be W component. And then all we need to do is copy this. Cool. So we can supply a height and a width here. So height is a number. Let's see if this works. So we'll go here and we'll import logo now from components. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then we just go logo. Yo, there we go. It's a bit big. What is going on? Clip rule, okay. Where are you? Oh, yep, so we've got to change all of these. Super annoying. I feel like there's a better way to do this one. All right. Cool, there it is, massive, massive logo. So we will set that, so the height will be, you know what we should have done? Should go in here and set this to the defaults. 257. Okay. And we should be on now. That still looks, so that's what it looks like now at 100%. Great. Sweet as. All right, so what I want to do quickly as well, I just want to set this title of this page. So how do we do that now? So there's a new export for Next.js. So it's Next.js app directory page title. Or is it inside of the index maybe? Where is the index these days? Let's see. Okay, so next head. So let's do that. Import next head from next head. And then we're going to just say head title. Great. Let's see. That doesn't seem to work. Let's say create next. There. Okay, so that's coming from here. I wonder why the page title. That's interesting. I wonder why that gets overridden. So anyway, so let's just get rid of this. So inside a layout, yeah, this is what I was looking for, the metadata. So we can say here, this is Lavella floor, what are the current one? Lavella floor here, Australia and New Zealand. All right, double check that. Australia and New Zealand. Sweet. And then the description. See, we want to probably just copy this because it's already got decent SEO. If they have, so it'll be in the head. Meta description. Don't tell me you don't even have it. Surely. Surely. Cool. Looks like they don't even have one. Great. Looks like they don't even have a default meta description. So that can be fixed later up. That would be better for SEO. Cool. Anyway, that will do there. So now we got this here. So that's good for us. I just wanted to set that so that we can actually see where our page is that we're working on. Okay, so main nav. Sweet. So we got this looking like that. And then if we make this 125%, looks the same. All right, so what do we have? Now we got this, the links. All right, so let's set up the actual links. So here we're going to set up a UL, unordered list. And then we're going to have the link, the list item. And then inside that, we're going to have next link. So we can just change this from to link, and this will be next link. All right. And in here, have a next link. And this will be, the first one is home. Yes. Why do you have an anchor there? Home. And this will be href is equal to home. All right, let's just see if that's working. There's home. Cool. So we're going to have to just fix this to make these render in line. Home about FAQ. We got about us, products, installers. So we go home about products, installers. And then the other one was help and support. And this is about us. Okay. Sweet. So we got all that. It's all shoving that. That's not ideal. So we want to do, what's happening, let's just double check this content wrapper. That doesn't do anything other than set the thing there. So let's go here, class name. Let's set this to flex. Make it an inline flex. I wonder if that is a real thing. Yep. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to make these things, it feels like this for some reason has this container. Why are you running? What is going on with you here? I wonder if we have to make the container a flex. I guess what we can do here, the content wrapper. Yeah, we'll always make it we'll make the content always flex, just easier to work with. And then what we'll do here is we'll say here, we want margin left auto. Okay. So we want this to sit on the right hand side. Now we want these, how do we want these to look? So these are all caps. So we're going to do a text transform on this. Let's see if this has it in here in the cheat sheet. Text transform, capitalize. So everything in here is capitalized. I wonder if you have to, sorry, not capitalized, uppercase. That's it. And then we want to have, between these things, we need to have some space. So let's do it on here. We're going to say margin left 4. We'll start it on all of these ones here. Okay, so probably a little bit more. Let's make it 6. Should really, how can I get this all in view? Okay. So what font is this using? Carla. And this is Carla. So we probably need to import 2 fonts here as well, just to make this all work properly, to make it match. But here we go. So we've got these things now. So let's go, this one takes you to about, this one takes you to FAQ for now. So we go about, cool, FAQ, that's fine, whatever. Okay. All right. So that's cool. So now what we can do is we can drop this nav wherever we want. And we've got our nav there. So let's do some fonts. So I haven't done fonts. So next font Google Inter. This is interesting. So next font Google. How does this work? Inter. I wonder how you... Here we go. Inter. So what is next font? This is cool. Next font, cool, all right. Google Fonts. So let's hope that these fonts are Google fonts. So we're looking for this one. So go to Google Fonts. Please be in here. So there it is. Love it. So how do we get this one? How do we actually, they've changed this a little bit. How do we actually get it? We used to have the add font and you could download it and it showed you how to. So let's just try that. Okay, let's try. So what do we have here? What? Just regular 400. I believe that's what we're using. Normal 400. Okay, so let's try. Oh, there we go. What a cool library. Yep, that's the one. And then enter. You have to do that every time. Okay. So that's a bit weird, but anyway, so we grab this, we're chucking into the main nav here because we want to use this font. I don't need enter, we just want this one. And then we refer to it like this. Num. Man, it's hard for me to type. And then that's this. Subsets. Don't need that. What's it asking for? Okay, wait, 400. I just want 400. Okay, let's see. So we want to set this font here to that. So let's see if we can do this. Preload is enabled, but no subsets were specified. Oh, Latin. Okay, so we have to do that. It's an array. Cool. All right. That does not. Okay, well that's the wrong font anyway. So the other font is actually called Carla. Cool, so definitely learning something here today, personally. So we are going to go Carla. I love how it has remembering all that. So we want Carla. Latin, and we want weight 500. Okay. There we go. All good. And what's the font size on this one? 18. So let's go font size. 18 is text large. Let's see if this works. Text large. There we go. That's it. All right. That even looks like it might have a little bit of letter spacing. It does. Letter spacing. All right. How do we do letter spacing? Tailwind. Okay. That's cool. Tracking wide. That's it. All right. So if we just take this tracking wide off, you can see the difference here. It's a little bit squished. There we go. All right, cool. So all of that, and we've done the Navbar. So what are we on to next? We are on to this next hero. So this is where we do all our conversions. So you need to capture the audience in this first section. So we'll jump into that one next. Let's clean up our work. So we just jump into logo. We're going to make these two props optional because we don't need them all the time. Clean this up. So this is all functioning now. The main nav doesn't take children, so we can actually get rid of that for now. We don't use props. Okay, so all good still. Excellent. So we can close that down. We can close down this one. So the next piece that we need to do here inside of this page, and I wonder how this works. So components, maybe we can just create a components folder here for home page, because they're going to be things that we won't reuse elsewhere. And I mean, we almost don't need to do that, but I think by having the components are just easier to organize. So in here, let's create a new file. We're going to create this. This is going to be the hero. All right, so we go in here. Let's go to Tailwind component. And this is the hero. And what is this? This is going to be a section. All right. So again, we're not going to take in any props. I don't think. We don't need to pass in any data right now. So we get rid of that. So we don't have children. I'm just going to call this hero. Hero. Save that. Chuck it into our page. So we're going to grab here. Import it. So you can see we're just basically stacking as we go. Okay, so it's not, doesn't live there. It lives inside of homepage / hero. Okay, there's our hero. Love it. Now, what do we need here? So it looks like we're going to run a black background. So let's do that first. So we're going to go here, class name again, background black. I'll just honestly guess that. It's not that. Where do we have it? We have it in our nav. BG black. BG black. Okay, it'll have to do with the height. Yeah, no, it's right there. What am I talking about? Okay, so what else do we have in here? So in here we have a picture that's behind the text. So we can use this as a background image. I think it's 50% of the width. 914. And also, so you can see here what happens here. This actually overflows the grid, the wrapper. So we just have to keep an eye on that and make sure. Yeah, I don't know if that's a mistake. No, that might not be a mistake. Okay, so let me have a look and see. So we're going to grab from the hero, we're going to have, so it'll be a div. And then usually, how would I do this? So usually I'll do this like with background image. So let's see, how does Tailwind do this? Background image. Background image. How does this work? It looks mainly like background image. Looks like a gradient to top left. Background attachment. Okay, let's just go here. Okay, so you put the actual image through the URL here. And then you do class BG fix. All right, so let's go here. So we're going to go class name BG fixed. We're going to say width 50%. Width. Whoops. Width. We want 50%. That's an interesting one for me. So that, for now, let's just also make this BG white so we can actually see what we're doing. Where are you, mate? So let's also do height. Let's go here, height. What do we have? Max height screen. Can you do min height? Sorry, min height. min height screen. Let's set this. There we go, that's better. Now we just need to see why this guy, so this will also be min height screen. There we go, so we got our white, that'll be our image, but we need this on the other side. So we're going to move it. Now I wonder if this should be, I wonder if we can say position relative. How do we do position relative? Because maybe we should fix it to the spot. Position. So we go call this one. So the container will be position relative here. All right, and then we're going to say this one will be position absolute. So I wonder if we can just say absolute. And then we want to say absolute, and we want it top 0. We want it on right 0, bottom 0. Oh, top 0, bottom. Let's just say right 0. Let's see what that does. There we go. Okay, so we've positioned this box absolutely or absolutely relative to the main container. And then it's going to have an image. So now we need to grab the image. So can we get that? Can we download this as a JPEG? What do we have? Source image file. Yeah, let's grab that. Chuck it in our downloads. And now what we'll do is inside of Hero, we'll put assets. Again, keeping everything co-located, just for maintenance. So this will be Hero JPEG. Chuck that there. Now let's import that. So we're going to say Hero image from asset / hero. Now let's just console log out this. Just see what we're getting. So it doesn't come out here. I wonder if it comes through. Here we go. It's a source. There's a source. So we need. So this one actually has nothing here. So style. Let's just do this. And this is a URL, and this is hero image dot source. Get rid of this. Do that. There we go. All right. So now we need to do a few things here because we need to contain this. I saw someone formatting Tailwind quite nicely once. I'm just trying to remember how they did it. Because so far it's a bit of a not ideal for me. Background position. So we need to do background position. It's actually background size, BG cover. So it's BG cover. Okay. I wonder if this is the problem here. There we go. Okay. The fixed was the issue. Cool. So I wonder if we can do, with Tailwind, if we can do calc. Because what we really want to do is we want to do min height screen, but we want to size it so that it shrinks, because like we don't really want to scroll there. Let's see if we refresh this. Okay. think that's something that can be fixed a little bit later. Okay, cool. So we'll move on. So now what we'll go is we can create, now what we can do is in here, we can bring in our a container. So we're going to import the content wrapper. Let me get rid of this line. Now this line will live here. Now I am hoping that this will overflow text. So I just want to see, we need to make sure that this is, let's set this whole thing to Tailwind, definitely harder for me to get my brain around. Text color, text white. Even a text gray 50 might actually look a bit nicer. It's just not as aggressive. So let's just try that on the nav actually as well. So if we change this to gray 50, you can just watch, is it 100? Text gray. I think it just breaks the contrast there. Yeah. Just makes it not, just feels a bit nicer on the black, not going the full white. So I'm gonna I'll run with that. The 100 there. Just makes it easier on the eyes to actually read that. Okay, so let's go. So we need this guy. So paragraph. Let's use an H1 here because this will be for our SEO. This will be our main call out. So we're gonna go here, copy this. Now we're breaking that. So this is the max width. What is this? How does this work? So the max width is 687. Let's see what that looks like in Tailwind. So we're going to go max width is 6, maybe this one. Okay, and then we need font size of, what is the font size here? 77. 77. So that's this one. Way. So it shouldn't be pushing this down. Maybe if we just make sure content wrapper, see what's going on here. I wonder if I pull that in here. Let's just see if that does anything. Okay, so I can pull that content, I can actually pull this into here. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so let's also do, this one's going to be position relative, and the Z index needs to be higher than this other one, so that we can get this overflow. I also want to just make sure this width, because it feels like it's not wide enough. Even the font, that's 100%. So maybe let's also just use this font first, because that's probably causing part of our issue. How do we use Z index in Tailwind? Z index. Z. Z0, 10. Let's go Z10. This one will be Z0. And this one will be Z10. Okay, and then we need to, let's bring in this font. So where do we do our font? We did it in our main nav. So close this hero. We're going to bring in, this is this NAM, this one. And we need this. Now what we also need to see is what is our weight, 400. And yeah, I'm just going to import that. There we go. 400. Great. And then this becomes, okay, so we need to interpolate this. Dot class name. Okay. Okay, this still looks enormous. Text 8XL. So let's just go check that text font size. What is, that says 80 pixels, but it just seems enormous to me. Let's go this one. 6XL. Still looks very big. We got letter spacing here as well. So that was tracking, just using tracking. You know what, I might even do this as well. Let's try use the style here. So if we go style, I wonder what this looks like. Let me just go here. I'm just trying to see if we can use the style just to break out this font so we don't have to do interpolated like this. Okay, so you can just spread it in. Okay, so let's just go. Something like that. Let me get rid of this. That doesn't need to be interpolated anymore. Cool. That works for me. All right. Crafting sustainable heating solutions for Australian families. Let's just, I want to break it the same way. Or we can actually just do no. Let's put the brakes in. Okay. This feels strange at this. Font size 77. What are we up to here? $60. It just feels so different. .62 RAM we need for max width. .62. So what are we on now? We got maxed at 2XL. Let's try 4XL. Is that our guy? Yep. Cool. All right. So we're looking similar. And what's 7XL look like? This is the thing with building these websites. There's a lot of back and forth checking your stuff. We could even go tracking. What's a little bit wider than that? Tracking. So what are we using? We're using wide. There's wider. Great. And then I'm assuming widest. Yeah. No, that's not nice. Cool. Sweet. So that's that one. We need to just bump it down a bit. So what are we talking here? 115. So that's a margin. What are we talking? M28. But we only want margin top. Great. We want that font to shrink though. So we'll want that to change a little bit. And then also up the top here, we need this nav to fix itself up. All right, but for now, looks okay. I'm gonna just drop that tracking back down. The line height though, let's do line height. Does that looks a bit crushed. Let's go leading normal. That's too much. Okay, that'll do. What's the next one down? Tight. Leading none. Yeah, okay, and then let's just make this. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's go. Let's keep moving on this thing. Let's add this next paragraph in here. So this will be the paragraph. And we are going to copy this text. And now same thing. So we're going to go class name and we're going to say, this formatting gets me. We're going to say margin top, I don't know, 12. Font size is 26. No. So we need to wrap all this in a div. That's probably a good idea. Pull that out there. Now let's give this a class name, and then we're going to set this to relative with a Z index. So we can pull this out. Okay. There we go. Now we're both living in the same house, and we are going to say here we want leading relaxed. Let's see what you're giving me. Don't want tracking wide. I just want normal tracking. I want a max width on this one though. So, what is that? What are we using there? Max W2XL. Let's do that. That's all right. What's the font size doing here? Text 2XL. And then what's the design looking like? So it's a bit... Okay. Where's the brakes? Created warm. So I'm just going to follow the breaks of 4 straight rel innovations. And builds using the best technology and installers. Okay. All right. That's what we have so far. Okay. So now we need our call to actions. So these will be 2 buttons. But they're not really buttons because they don't behave like buttons. They're probably more links. So let's see. Styling a link. What do they have? A button. I wonder if you can style a button as. I think we should use just a normal link here actually. So we'll do next. What does this do? Where do we go? So when we click on that, request a quote. So that'll be a new page. And learn more will just, I'm not 100% sure what that does yet. Okay, so let's just style them as A's for now. Let's just also check another thing. Is this something we should be making a component for? There's a button there. There's another one here. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create a new component, and we're going to call this button. Okay, let's go to Tailwind component. We're going to use an A tag. This will be called button. And the children will be the text that you pass in. So it'll be the string. So let's style this guy. So what do we want? We want rounded corners. We've got this here. So rounded, what are we looking for? Large, possibly. Rounded large. Let's see what that looks like. And then we're going to have the... Oh, okay. Let's see what this looks like. Import our button. So right here. So we got get quote. Request quote. Okay. There. We need to give us some space here. Margin top 12 again. Great. Something funny is happening in this one though. Okay, just because it didn't have flex on it, it's just overflowing it there. A little bit. Okay, so request quote. Now, with a button, we need the cursor. Okay, let's see if we can do cursor. I'm pretty sure we can. So these definitely look like they've got a lot bigger radius. So what do we have? Options. Round. Border radius. So we are using a rounded large. Let's go 2XL and see what that looks like. I mean, we can even go way bigger. What does this go up to? 3XL is the biggest. Font size, text large. Let's go text medium or even small. What does that look like? That looks alright. That's at 100%. So that looks probably the closest there. What is this color? Is it should we call that Lavilla red? Let's go color. I wonder how you make your own custom colors. Customizing your theme. Here we go. Cool. So let's go into our Tailwind here. Tailwind config. Colors. We're going to say, do they have red normally? They do. So let's go Lavella red. All right, that's that. Please forgive me if that's not red because I am colorblind. So we are going to then use that color. So that would be text, Lavella red. Let's see if that works. Wrong thing. So it's BG is Lavella red. And text is white. Okay. So it does the bold there looks a bit tracking wide. That doesn't seem to be playing any effect in there. Widest letter spacing, yeah, it is there. I don't think I like the bold though. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. All right, that's looking pretty cool. So now next to that button, we had another button, and this is going to be called an outline button. And this is just where I find Tailwind a bit interesting, because now when we want to do conditional styles here, it's going to get a bit ugly. All right, so let's just add another button next to it. Learn more, we'll do that. And then this will have, it's a bit hard actually, outline button, but I have to have different colors. I wonder if which buttons are used anywhere else. Let's see, there's an outline button, but that could easily be, I mean, we only have 3 buttons really. So we could even just say button style, and then what we're going to do here is we can just do this. Let's go primary, secondary, let's go secondary white, and then secondary black. Okay, so we're going to provide these different props here. Oh, and we also need children actually. Damn. And I'm just going to be really lazy here, and I'm just going to say if button style is, yeah. Just rather than stuff around with the Tailwind styling. So this is the secondary white, looks like this. So it's going to be basically this. And then, but what we're going to do is the BG is going to be nothing. We're going to do text is going to be white. Border. I mean, we could say BG is black actually. Nah, don't want a border, so we can use this elsewhere. Okay. So this is secondary white. So we're going to say here, okay. Now we just need to get this border prop right. Border, where are you? Border color. So border white. That's good. Border width, probably. There we go. Okay, unfortunately we got cut out there, but what happened, all we did was just create this variant on the button, the secondary white. I've just added a border and border white here, and I've removed the background color. And the font, the text was changed to white now. Oh, it was already white. So that's all that's happened. And I just pass a style tag in here, pass it through as an object, so that we can just apply margin. In the hero, we can apply a little bit of margin left. All right, and that's it. So that's where we're up to now. So the next piece that we need to do is just this little list here. So we can set up a new unordered list here, and we're gonna have 3 list items, and it'll just be this: fast and efficient heating. So I think we'll need an icon. So we'll do span here for the text. I wonder if we should just pull in React icons quickly. So we'll grab the React icons. Let's do this. So we'll chuck that in. Okay, so we've installed React icons. Now let's grab, so we need to look for a check, I believe. There's a check mark. Maybe this one, BS check 2. So let's see if we can import that. BS check. I wonder if there's a font awesome variant. FA check, let's see. React icons, font awesome. And then we're going to just stick that here. Let's just see if that all works. No, not yet. Okay, that's strange. It should show up. Okay, anyway, we'll just keep moving. So we're going to go this and then this. And then we've got smart controls and affordable pricing. Okay. Okay, there it is. Just need to refresh. Great. Class name. So we're going to chuck on a margin top 12 here. Yep. Sweet, this is looking good. All right, so what I want to do here is, let's make this a flex. Yep. And then let's do a line items center. So what is that called in Tailwind land? Line items, item center. Great. And then on this side, we want to just do a little margin left of 4. Let's try that. That looks good. All right. So I'll just duplicate these again. Then just change out the text. Great. Cool. All right. Wonder if there's anything for lists. No, we might have to just do it on here. So we'll go margin 2. That probably do. Sweet, there we go. So we now have this piece, fast, efficient home heating, boom, boom, boom. All right, that's the hero done. All right, so let's move on to the next section, which is the video section. This one will be interesting. And that's got say hello. Cool, let's jump in. Let's close off what we have here, and we're gonna create a new component, and it's gonna be called the intro. Index.tsx, set up a Tailwind component, and we call this intro. All right. Now, we have a video here, so that'll need to be set up. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to build this as an image, and then when you click on it, we'll launch a pop-up modal and have the video run inside of that. So let's give that a go. So we're going to, the whole thing is going to be wrapped inside of our media or content wrapper. So we'll grab that. Sweet, chuck that there. We don't have children. I'm just going to put intro there for now. Get rid of all this. Almost feel like we need a snippet for a prop-less component. So let's drop this in here. So we'll go chuck intro. All right, so there's our intro. Awesome. Now, this looks like it's min height again is the size of the screen. So let's add that. Min height, what is it? Okay, so there's our intro. Now what we need to do is we need to have our video. So we're going to have this div. And now I wonder if we can set a proportion, like a ratio, aspect ratio, aspect video. And let's set the background to black so we can see it. It's tiny. All right, and we want the width to be 100%. Let's see what this is. Width full. W full. Okay, that's close. All right, cool. We want a margin top of that of 8. Probably a little bit more, maybe 16 or 24. Okay, so that's the video. So this is now, this is relative. I think we've set that on the content wrapper. Not yet, okay. And we need another div here, which is, this is the container for the actual text. So this will be BG white. And this has to overflow the other one slightly. So we're just going to write content here. Now, where are you? Video, where's the content? It's full width as well. What's going on? Oh, okay, so it's sitting next to it. All right, so this needs to go flex. Sweet. So we will do a container here. And the flex direction is flex col. Oh man, seriously. Flex col. Let's move these into that. And this will be relative. And this needs to be width full as well. Okay, now we've got our content here. So our content for this one is about, it's 831. So it's 831 divided by 12, 70%. So that's 70% width. So 70%, let's do this one. Doesn't look like they have 70. Okay. I wonder if we can do this something like just blue or something for now. Red. Let's see, where are we? There we are. Where's background color? BG. Oh, there's no pure red. Let's just go like a light gray for now, so we can see it. There we go. Now this one needs to be pulled up a bit. So let's see if we can do margin top. Can we do negative margin top? Margin top. Is there a way to achieve a negative margin? Wow, there we go, negative. Okay, so you start with a negative. So negative 32, let's see what that looks like. Cool. How far does this travel in? Let's try 16. Okay, sweet. And then we've got a bit of padding here. So padding will be 16. Okay, and then we got a margin to the left as well. Okay, something like that, yeah? Pops over a bit. Could even do this like that. Great, all right. And I think we could probably shift this down. Probably something. Yeah, maybe just leave it like that. That looks all right. Okay. Sweet. And then we'll change this div to a section. All right, so now we are going to add this in. So not just for cold winters. Do we use that again? What makes Lavella unique? It's like a little heading. A heading tag. All right, let's create that little component. So it's a little heading tag. I'm going to call it a heading tag. Sweet. Tailwind. And then we'll pass in this. So let's just set one up. So it'll come inside the content here. We've got a heading tag. And this will just say, not for cold winters. All right. And then what are we doing with this thing? So this thing's going to be flex. To start, not just for cold winters. Where we made a mistake there. Not just for cold winters. Okay, cool. And then we got like a line. So I wonder if we can use, if we use an HR here. And the width we want this to be, I don't know. Maybe width 5. We want the background to be black. Now, let's see, how do we style this guy? Do it our flex. So I think, is it color black? No. It's border color. Yeah, border color. Okay, so we need to go border color, border black. I don't know if we need to have border because it already has a border. There we go. Border width. Border width. Border 2. There's nothing in between 1 and 2. Okay, we'll just leave that then. And then what we want to do is align item center. Great. And then from here, we're just going to say margin right L4. Not for cold winters, not just for cold winters. Cool. All right. So that's our little component now. We can use that whenever we want to do that little thing. All right, so the next piece, this is H2. All right, so we're going to chuck that there. Margin top 8. Now, what are we doing so for? I almost feel like we should pull the H1s and H2s into their own component, so we don't have to keep defining them. So let's do a new component here called heading 2. All right, component. So I'm going to pull that in here. Okay, so we should still have that. Now we need to figure out a way how to merge these two class names. And we can just concat them actually. Sweet, and we want to also set this font size. So let's see, what are we doing for H1? Let's grab this. So we don't want to go as big as that, so we can go text. And this can be tracking. All right. Okay, and then we just need to set the font again. And then chuck that in as a style here. Cool. Okay, so then from this side we can just pass in the breaks. There we go. And I'm going to swap this back to white now. So it looks a bit more normal. Now, what can we do here? Should we make heading 2 slightly bigger? Maybe 5XL. All right. Sweet. So now we got this next line. What is this going to be? So that's just a P. So heading 2 can go. Let's get rid of this again, clean up our lives. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to go a P tag. So it's this one. Okay. Margin top. Cool. now we just keep going. So we go with the next P and we chuck this in. Okay, so I can't copy that by itself. So grab this there. Now there's this piece of text that's strong. So we're going to go strong. And that finishes off title winter. So we're going to grab that, chuck that there. Just fixing this up just for formatting. Okay. Cool. We need a space after that. So we actually want to, looks like we want to limit this text a bit more. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go padding 16, but then we go padding right of 32. We also want to do, on this one, we want to do, oh, it's very challenging for telling one for me. So it's going to be line height, leading, normal. I wonder if we should pump that up a little bit more. I wonder if also maybe what we should do is, because I think this font is just rendering as the wrong thing. It's rendering as inter, which isn't what we want. We actually want, where's our layout? We don't want to use inter here. We want to use Carla. Nope. Carla. There we go. So now that all just swapped over to Carla, so it actually matches the design even more. So now we can actually see, we could probably pump this up a little bit. So if we go into, I wonder why the font size is so small. Let's go here. So we go font. Text large. That's a bit better. I still think this needs to be bigger here. So let's make this 64. Yeah, I think this actually needs to be smaller. And then we can make this 48. Okay, I think that matches this a little bit better. It's a narrower component. Okay, so that's that one. Now we can do the next one, which is in here. So let's just add the strong while we're here. So strong there, and yeah, what's this comment? Year round. So we grab that, paste that. Okay, what's that look like? There we go. All right, and then it's design your dream install. So we need to grab from our hero, we used our button component. And that button looks like this. Put it in a div. Just there. And this is design your dream install. So that needs to live in here. There we go. Let's make this margin top 6. Cool. All right. So that'll be the video. So what we'll do is we'll grab this picture. Let's grab the original. Okay, interesting. That's actually a portrait. I wonder if we can grab layer export. Let's see what that looks like. That's better. Okay, so we'll add our assets folder. This will just be called, I'll just call it, literally call it intro. Oh, maybe just video. All right, and then we'll do the same, we're gonna do exactly the same thing here, video image. So let's go to our intro. Sweet. And then what we will do here is we will set like we did before. So we're going to go here, here. And then we're going to say style. And this is video image dot source. Yep, that needs a bracket. And then this is BG cover. And then BG center, yeah, that's fine. Let's see what we're doing. Boom. Great. That looks very similar. We're gonna do in here. We'll say it's a flex, and we'll say items center. And now what we need. So the video word is some. Where are you? There you are. Justify content will be justify center. Let's split these onto new lines so we can see what's going on. Cool, there's that thing. So now what we need to do is grab, if we go to React icons, we can grab the play. Does Font Awesome have a play? FA reg circle play. Import FA reg circle play. Come on. It's not exported. I don't understand why some of these aren't there. Maybe that's annoying. Who has something? Okay. Let's try this one. Cool. So this will be text. Just can't get this right, eh? Text large. Sweet, that's way too big. It's a YouTube one too. Actually need the solid button. Oh, here, I am play. There we go. That'll do. Text white. Sweet. That button does not look 100% for some reason, but I think, do we have? There we go. Great. So now when we click that, we will trigger a light box and run the video inside of that. Or we can take them to a page, depending on how we feel, how much time we have. Cool, so that looks like this. Design your dream install, design your dream install. Don't know where that button goes yet, but we'll get there. All right, so on to the next one, which is this little guy. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the key features section, which is this. So basically, we're going to call out 3 key features. So let's just collapse all of this just to give us a fresh space. So components here, we're going to have a new one called key features. It's a Tailwind component. Key features. Okay, so let's just write in here. Sweet. And now inside of the home page, so the app page here, we will have key features. Key features. Chuck that there. Bang. That's expecting children, which we don't have. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Come on. Let's not be lazy. File, code, settings, user snippets, Tailwind, childless. So this will be Tailwind. How do we do this? So we don't have this. Don't have this, or that. All right, let's go. Childless. Sweet. Key features. Hey, I've made a mistake. So this is not, now this will just be component. Sweet, there it is. Okay. Key features. Done. Here we go. There you are. All right. So let's go class name, min. Let's just grab this section. All right. So this actually doesn't have a min height screen. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's only very small. So we're going to just give it a big padding here. So it'll be width full and padding of 16. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, maybe even 32. We also need our content wrapper. So wrap you, move you in there, great. Now we should have a content wrapper that lines up. Let's get rid of the padding. No, actually we need padding Y. That's right. So now that lines up there, all good. Okay, so what does this look like? This thing is now, this is actually, it's a grid. So let's see how we do grids in Tailwind. So we go Tailwind wind grid. Let's see what we can do here. So it's div class grid. Okay, so we're going to chuck a grid in here. And then what we're going to do in here is have 3 items. Class name. Let's see what that looks like. Columns 3. Now we need this to go full width as well. There we go. So now we have 3 grid items. Awesome. Okay, so inside of each one of these, we've got, this is basically each item, right? So it's a little square. It's got an icon, a title, and a paragraph. So let's create a const feature here. Let's do this. I prefer this. So I'm gonna create a new component here. So this is a childless. Oh no, this will have props. So we're gonna call it a key feature. And I'm just gonna do that feature. Actually, no, we'll leave that as that. So for now, we're just gonna go import there, and then we're just going to drop that straight in here. And this one will be, I guess we'll do something like this. So I'll cut all this out. So we're going to have title. It's like a nose, but it's energy efficient. And this is the body. And then we're going to have an icon. This will be a component. So we will have to, just going to do this for now. All right, so we got this happening. Now we can do this 3 times. Okay, now I'm just going to grab these. I might even do this. I might pull this out and make that the children. It's just easier to format. Okay, so now this will have children, boom, paste that. Now we should be seeing the text, there we are. Now we've also got the title prop, so let's grab that, that's a string. Why'd you do that to me, mate? So here we're gonna have span. Maybe we even call that h3. Okay, so let's fix. So I've created the h3 here in the paragraph tag. So we just need to fix up this, it looks like the alignment. So this is all center aligned. So let's do that. Let's take a wild swing and say it's text center. Yep, sure is. We'll do the same here. Yep, we also need to go text large XL 2XL. Is that about right? Yep, 2XL. It's also bold. I wonder if that works. No. No. What is the key special word here for bold? font weight, font bold, okay. I could probably drop that down a little bit there. Give this a margin top of 4. Great. How's this look? So a bit of work to be done here for mobile as well. So we want to increase the width of this and stuff, and also change the grid here. Let's see, Excel. No. So that's actually on here. So Excel. I think maybe even large. There we go, that works nicely. Okay, and then we got our icon. So from here, we can grab these guys, little SVGs, download the piggy, the pets, and the heat. And then what we'll do is we'll just chuck the assets here. So let's rename these heat, pets, piggy bank. All right. So we're going to have to turn these into components. So we go so let me just undo this. Let's just create here. So these are actually going to be icons now. I might create a new folder here called icons. And this one will be called heat. Tailwind component, and we'll grab this and return this. It'd be great if Next came with pretty installed. So we need height equals 110, width equals 111. I'm gonna go height, width, need to rename all these props. So React doesn't cry about them. Okay. Height, number, width is a number. These are both optional. And this is the heat icon. All right, so let's pull in that. So let's see, so that is the last one. And it's complaining because we haven't defined the prop here, and this is a React node. Okay. And then we're going to just put the icon right here. No, actually, maybe we'll put it in a span so we can control what happens to it. Okay. There we go. So this one needs a class name of flex, and flex col. I believe we want to align, no, so it's item center. Great. Cool. We want to actually shrink this guy a little bit. So with the icon, let's pass it in. I reckon we could pass this in with, where are you? Height of 50, width 50. Well, that didn't work. So let's just see what's going on there. There's probably some other heights to find. Where are you? It's not the best working with SVGs like this, actually. I wonder if it's part of the view box here. Nope. Wonder why that's not working. I'll probably get those made smaller. They're just a bit big. Anyway, let's continue here. So I'll just drop that into both. Cool. We can also see now that we need a little bit of margin top here. Okay. Let's do the rest of the icons. So for this one, let's go here. We're going to create a new file called pets. So I'll grab the heat one. Pets icon. Let's grab this. Okay. I wonder if I'm not breaking the clip path. Let's just see. So we go key features. This will be the pet icon. Safe and comfortable. Great, that's pretty cute. So let's just say here height. There we go, that works. So what I've done here accidentally in the heat one was probably you should have just left this. And now if we change this to 50-50, there we go, okay. That's probably a bit small, but if we went something like that, that works. Very cool. All right, next one. Next is the piggy bank. So let's grab this guy, paste him. Piggy bank icon. We're going to grab this. Paste that in here. I'm wondering if we can even just quickly rip this line. What is the difference? Looks like exactly the same, so we can just get rid of that. Alright, that. So that's the piggy bank icon, and then we chuck that into here. Do the same thing. Boom, done. So you've just learned how to create your own icons using SVGs. So that's very cool, and we can control the width and the height very easily. All right, so that is now this section done. I'm wondering if we should chuck a border. So it's got a border here, border bottom on the content. So let's perhaps, I wonder if we can go a little border width here. So border bottom width 1. I wonder how this works. Border width. Border B, great. Border B and border T. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, great. And then I want just to put some padding in here. PY 16. Done. There we go. We don't need a margin top. I think that looks good. Let's give you a little bit more. Great. All right. That's done. Okay, so we've done the key features section. On to the next one. Okay, I'm going to just quickly try deploy this now. So inside of the next config, there's two settings that I want to turn off. Is the ESLint setting here. I don't want to check that. I also don't want to check TypeScript errors. Now we don't have ESLint yet, so let's just tab that in, but when we do, definitely don't want to fail a build just because of ESLint or TypeScript. So, all right, strict mode. What else do we need? Okay, cool. So I'm just pushing that up to main, and inside of Vercel, I've just created a new project and I've linked it to the GitHub repo. And now we're gonna let this thing build. So let's just go back to here. You can see we're building the latest branch. So we've had a couple of fails so far. So we'll just let this run. Okay, team, so we have deployed this just to check it out. Click it, there we go, on the internet. So that's good. So we can continue working through the next section. All right, so we're working on the installation locations next, which is this section in the prototype over here. So you can see we just need to bump up, fix this font here. But there's something cool here. So we've got this, basically this dark black that splits here. I guess this is where the section will end over here. So to do this, I've seen a really cool trick, and we can use the gradient over here that runs 50% or 60%, I think we're going to make it. And then it's a pure black here. So I'll show you how I've implemented that. So let's just open this tab here. So we can see it over here. Now what I've done is inside of the Tailwind config, I've extended background image, and I've created one called black 60. So basically 60% black, and create a linear gradient that starts here. Or, I mean, we can make this actually pure black, right? Pure black to 60%, and then white for the remainder. And that gives us that look. And then we don't have to try and do some like div juggling where we're like pushing things over each other. This will just be a background behind those images. And then to actually put that on, you can see here we've got BG black 60. And that's using our custom Tailwind, I guess, what would you call that? Theme, I guess, theme property. All right, so that's what we've got so far. So let's continue on with this next piece. Let's see what we're doing here with this heading in there. So that would be our, what is this one? This section, that's our intro. And what is the heading? So we're using heading tag, and then we're using heading 2, MT8. So let's just see, we're using heading 2, text white. So it looks a bit small here for me for some reason, compared to this. This is a lot bigger. Maybe this is zoomed in, no? That's at 100%, so it just looks bigger in the design, I guess. But that's all right for now, I guess. The font doesn't look right either, so that's the heading font we're using. Let's just see if this is the same. If it's computing the same font. Yeah, it is using the, oh, it's a 4, it's hitting the 4 back there for some reason. I wonder why. Okay, let's have a look at that. So that's coming from heading 2, subsets 400. Let's see what's going on here. Font weight possibly. No. That's really interesting. I wonder why it's called fallback. I wonder if that's just the naming. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, that looks right, but you can see it's overflowing here. So it's giving us that effect. So we're going to go heading, and then we're going to have an underline, so we can continue on here. So we've got an underline. You can't see it right now because it is white. And then we're going to have this row here of images. So let's go with this will be a grid. So let's just create a div for now. And then we're going to have 3, what are these things called? Locations, I guess. Shower, stairs, outdoors, right? So let's create one of these things. In here, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to go installation location. All right. And then let's go, this is a propless, so it's childless component. Actually, this does have props. All right, because we're going to pass in these props to here. So this is it, installation location. All right, and then we're going to work through this. So this will have an image over here, and then this kind of section here. I don't know where that goes. So I'm going to leave that icon off because I don't think it actually goes anywhere. So let's set that up. So this will look like, I guess, image. All right, and then underneath we're going to have, and then this is going to be, so we're going to go class name, and it's going to be flex, and then flex col to run vertically, and then we're going to say heading 2. Okay, well, no, not head. Heading 2. It might even be heading 3. I'm going to create a heading 3. Not common. So let's go. Let's duplicate heading 2. Copy that. Paste it. Heading 3. So we've got 2. We're going to replace that with 3. And now the text is going to be a 3XL. All right. And then we can import that and use that here. And that will be, let's just set this up for now with showers. And then we're going to have a P tag. And we'll just put children in there, right? All right. Let's see what this looks like. So I'm going to import now installation location. And inside here, we're going to put our text. So this is a prototype, so I can't actually view it. Let me see if I can jump into the actual Figma file. Cool, so I've copied the text. And then we'll just format this. All right. Then we'll jump back into our thing. What's it saying? Can't resolve components, heading 3. Okay, that's because it needs that guy. Okay, no, sorry. This is here. This is Copilot stitching me up. Heading 3. Yeah. All right. There we go. Okay, we're back on. Okay, install almost anywhere. Then we've got this underline, and now we've got this thing. All right. So we're going to have 3 of these. And then we're also going to pass in an, what are we passing in an icon? No. So we're going to go title here. Let's go title. And this will be showers. Showers. So let's add that prop onto there. Okay. And this is here. Right, showers. Now we should see that there. Showers, perfect. And then we're going to pass in an image as well. But for now, let's just grab stairs and outdoors. All right. Okay. Okay, chuck that there. Sweet. All right, so we've got our 3 set up now. Let's have a look. Stairs and outdoors, and someone's hiding in there. All right. Cool. So we need to put this into a grid. So let's see where we've used grid here. So here's the grid 3 columns, gap 4, width full. All right, let's grab it from the key features. We'll chuck it in here. All right, let's see what happens. There we go, perfect. That looks good. All right, the gap might be a bit bigger. There we go. All right, now we just got to do our images. All right, so let's grab that. Let's grab the images. So I'm going to create a new folder in here and call it assets, as we normally do. And then here we're going to grab these assets. Okay, I managed to grab those. Where's my downloads folder? Okay, so we're going to call this one. Let's grab them and chuck them in there. So this is shower. This is stairs. This is outdoor, or what is it? Yeah, I guess outdoors. Yep. Cool. All right, we've got our assets. Now let's chuck them in. So we are now going here. Let's go image. And we are going to import the image. Shower image from assets, shower. And then this will be shower. I mean, we can say image URL here. And then go shower.url href source. All right, so we're going to pass that through now into here as an image URL, and that is a string, and it is compulsory. So now we can pass that through here. And here we're just I'm going to use the alt tag as the title, and then image. So it'll be shower image. All right, I think you don't need to use the that in there. What is this saying? Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we can use image from next image. So we're going to say import next image from next image, and we go next image. Boom, like that. All right, let's go. Missing the width property. Okay, so we need to add width here. It's going to be 100%. Actually, we need to make this a like a ratio. So let's do that quickly. So I'm just playing around here with the next image. I'm going to put it in a div. And then just going to do a ratio. So let's go to tailwind, wrong one. Tailwind, can we do ratio? Aspect ratio. So we're going to go aspect ratio. No, we want to do our own aspect ratio here. Let's see what this looks like. What size is this? 350 by 450. We can go with like it's not a 4x3, but it's probably close enough. So we're going to go div style is equal to, I think it's 3 divided by 4. And then let's see what's going on here. No. So I think to fix this, we also have to go relative. Let's just see, relative position, just relative. Let's see what's going on. So let's fix that. There's our 4x3. So that's looking pretty good. And that goes big when it goes into single. Cool, so that's working. Let's see what's going on here though. Why do we have so much gap? All right, so in here, what's going on here? It's the margin top on heading 3. Let's see, is there a built-in margin top? Yep. So let's put in the class name. Maybe we can just shrink this. All right, so that's kind of what we want. Cool. So now we can do this with all the rest of them. So if we just go shower, we've got outdoors and we've got stairs. Outdoors image, outdoors, great. All right, so then we're just going to copy paste this. Stairs image, outdoors image, great. Bang, there we go. All right, so what we're going to also do with this guy, this grid here, let's give it a margin top of, I don't know, 16. Is that going to look good? How much do they have here? Yeah, a bit more. It's got 20. I think that looks all right. We could actually make this gap bigger and then go 16 margin top, and then that'll keep this looking nice and square through there. Okay, so we're looking pretty close, except this only thing is this actually looks massive. So maybe we'll have to bump this up to almost an H1. That doesn't feel right. You shouldn't really have more than one H1 on the page. Okay, so let's chuck some margin top on this guy as well. I'm wondering why this font, that looks very different to this. There's something wrong here. why this is falling back to there. This is, let's see what this font says. This font says, see, that doesn't have the fallback there. So something's going on here, right? So you can see here, that looks like it's got the normal font and then the fallback, and then here, on these ones, we've got the fallback twice. Oh no, that's not the fall. No, it is a fallback. Fallback, and then fallback. That's super weird. So I've done something funny here. See, that's what it's meant to look like. No fallback in there. Okay. So let's have a look at what we're doing wrong. So I'm gonna open up heading 2 here, and then I'm gonna find where we're doing the main hero page, and then see what's going on. So we got this. Let's open this a bit bigger. Close this off because that's all good here. So that's fine. Then what's going on here? We got this piece. Right, that's fine. And then the style spreads in here, which is also exactly the same, all right? So then what is it that we're applying here that's not right? Leading, tracking, margin top, max. If we remove, are we passing any, we're not passing any class names in. If we just remove this for a second, does that fix anything? No. Okay, so this is a div, and this is an H1, okay? So heading 2 should not be a div. It should be an H2, firstly. That doesn't change anything though, just schematically it's better though. Why are we getting this fallback? Let's console log here and just see what is going on. What is going on? Not logging, heading 2. Interesting that we're not even getting to that. Okay. Very interesting. We are using heading 2 for sure. Install almost anywhere. That's a heading 2. What is going on here? Let's see. Text white. I wonder if that's being logged out here. Here it is. There's the thing. Fallback and fallback. That doesn't make sense to me. It all looks the same. Okay. I can't figure that one out right now. It's super bizarre. But yeah, it's not rendering properly there. I wonder why. Do we have to declare that somewhere? Let's look it up. And to add to it, it looks like heading 3 works perfectly. So that makes it even crazier. All right, figured it out. Added display swap here, and now we are on. So that looks right now. Great. So just need to add that one, and we are working. All right, cool. So heading 2, heading 3, we can keep moving. All right, so that looks good. Let's just see. Shower stairs outdoors looks good. That was really cool. All right. So that's that section. So I'm going to keep working through the rest of this. I think it's quite repetitive, as you can see. So this is just going to be a grid with 4. This will be a image with a box just offset from it. One's aligned to the right, one's aligned to the left. A negative margin here. I might come and show this one because this is an accordion. So we will probably work on that. I'll show you how that one works. Nothing special. A grid again. Just another heading thing with like that's going to be like a 80% background with a little overflow there. Another accordion. So you can see these things are very repetitive. So I won't bore you with the detail, but at the end I'll come back and show you how all the anything special was done. And then the only other thing, like realistically, that we're going to do on this website that might need to be covered is, all the pages are going to be the same. About us are going to be the same layouts, but we might do one for support where we do the contact form, and I'll just show you how we can plug in SendGrid to actually send through the contact messages. All right, I'll get stuck in and get back to you guys soon.